My name is Dandy Darkly. I'm an expert on all things paranormal, parapsychological, parafabulous shoes, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight's tale is one to terrify, titillate, and tickle. Ladies and gentlemen, I share with you a case of the vapors. Venture away from the Dixieland dystopia called Atlanta, and you'll discover the rolling forests of the North Georgia mountains, verdantly green in the spring and breathtakingly ablaze in the fall, a setting so enchanting as to have once inspired frisky festivity among the Cherokee Indians who called the woodland hollow home. There they danced, and they smoked, and they drummed for a euphoric entity they called Ukahara, also known as the Vapors. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was long ago, where once there were Native Americans, now there are Christian Americans. Oh, Gaybird, Georgia is a small southern town of honest Baptist Americans who strive to live their lives free of sinful persuasion. And as such, Sundays at Gaybird First Baptist Church are the social event of the week for the town's housewives. And Gaybird's local businessmen have sealed more deals in those wooden pews than ever in a proper boardroom. And standing in the pulpit, where 3 generations of his family had stood before him, was preacher George Hickory. It was nearly 100 degrees in the shade that hot July morning, but preacher Hickory preached an even hotter sermon of hellfire retribution against any and all sinful indulgences, be they sexual, societal, or other. Ladies and gentlemen, Gaybird is a weird little town, and there is so much other to entice the vapors. Take Postman Carl, for example. Neither rain nor snow nor the vapors shall keep that masculine mailman from delivering Gaybird streets. But once safely home, with the door locked, the curtains drawn, the webcam powered up, Postman Carl becomes Mistress Carlotta, la la, kicking off his beaten, battered boots and uncovering a secret stash of footwear, feminine and fancy-free. There were there were vintage sandals and Ferragamo slingbacks, Louboutin pumps and feathery ballet flats, Manolo stilettos and colorful clogs, Jimmy Choo boots and by Beatrice Song. And Postman Carl prayed in his pew, for he desired to wear his feminine footwear out and about on Gaybird streets, delivering the mail or just grabbing a bite to eat. Mistress Carlotta could sashay every day, finally free. The vapors dared her feet to dream, but a dress code was the mailman's reality. And the vapors spied the quiet reflection of local librarian Miss Dolores Greenapple. Everyone was well aware of the pinch-faced spinster's strictness and shushing whispers among the Gaybird library stacks. But not on public record was Miss Greenapple's pubic obsession with her 8 adorable kitty cats. There was tiger-striped Trixie and white fluffy mittens, Elder, Mr. Rascal, and Miu a calico kitten, Shumai, a tawny Siamese, and Domino with black and white spots, Scratches, a feral rescue, and a 30-pounder she called Squad. And Dolores Greenapple prayed in her pew, because buried in bed beneath that beastly pile of pussies, wrapped wetly and trapped tightly inside her sweaty sheets, Dolores Greenapple would pull her mewing, purring, meowing feline fuck buddies so close to her groin. Closer, closer, shh! And the vapors snickered, slumped low in the church's back row next to the O'Reilly boys. Braden and Brandon had inherited their family's once bustling business, but now O'Reilly Auto Repair sat neglected, nothing more than a front for selling speed and late-night orgies. And ladies and gentlemen, the vapors loves a good orgy. There was big-titty Bettina and dumb blonde Heather, cum-guzzling and Crystal and Destiny, a stripper, red-headed Rose, and a post-op named Prissy, Shania, a shop girl, and a MILF they called Missy. And the beefy O'Reilly boys prayed in their pew because side by side, night after night, their glistening ginger-fur torsos slammed that endless parade of poontang Braden watching Brandon watching Braden watching Brandon get his nut, and brothers both wondering how the other's mustached mouth may taste, if only. And the vapors tiptoed back to the pulpit, where preacher Hickory whipped himself into a frenzied fit of sermonizing, hissing wicked words like sodomia and masturbation and Obama, and his wild eyes met the gentle blue kindness of his toddler son, his one and only little boy, little Austin Hickory. There sat perfect little soul, listening in a state of rapt delight. The preacher Hickory felt a tickle of sweat trickle down his neck, or was it the curious osculation of the vapors? He looked once more into his little boy's eyes. There were gentle blue eyes, kindly divine, a shock of blonde hair like golden twine, a tender demeanor, polite and nice. The darling son he could not sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, a little exposition, pay attention. It was ages ago, you see, when the great-great-grandpappy, Archibald Hickory, donated sneakily disease-ridden blankets to the Cherokee before marching maliciously the wounded warriors westerly. The tears of the exiled hexed the forest floor, and where they fell, the sunbeams turned to shadows. The songbirds refused to sing, and the formerly friendly frolicking fog of the vapors became fiendish, forlorn, and foul. And the small southern town of Gaybird, Georgia, was built upon the bones of the Indian dead. And that always turns out for the best. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? The firstborn son of each generation, as Archibald Hickory's dire retribution, be killed before a third spring had, lest the vapors drive the townsfolk mad. And George Hickory remembered that awful night. The vapors became a moving, moaning mosaic of the diseased Indian dead as he held the knife above his little boy's tiny, fluttering chest. The tip of the dagger drew blood as fear and confusion flashed across his little boy's eyes. And George Hickory remembered his own fear, his own confusion that night long, long ago when his own father stole away his elder brother, never again to be seen. And a pussy to prophecy, George Hickory dropped the dagger and bore his sobbing son safely home. And abruptly, on that hot July morning, that same screeching smog of Indian souls now billowed about Gaybird First Baptist, and despite the preacher's previous bluster, all he could pathetically muster was an awfully simple motherfucker. For there in the pews, the town of Gaybird went mental as their shameful secrets were made magically physical. Mistress Carlotta, Postman Carl no longer sliced away toes to fit a shoe size smaller. Cackling and bleeding, she stomped the area like a wounded model wearing Castello Tagliapietra. And Dolores Greenapple's stomach ballooned as talons tore forth from her belly wounds. New mommy giggled, bleeding to death, as cat-faced babies chewed away at her breasts. And sucking face, finally, were the brothers O'Reilly. Incestual desire suddenly turned deadly. Lashed lips, cracked teeth, and bruised skin, leaving shattered skulls like eggshells broken. The vapors had all of Gaybird under their spell. The mayor danced with his girl Friday's entrails. A woman used a cactus as though it were a tampon. And one cheerleader raped quarterback wearing a strap-on. And there in the chaos, Preacher Hickory screamed. He'd lost little Austin in a nightmare scene. He spied a frail form, familiar and thin. The enfeebled figure shuffled slowly towards him. In Preacher's hands, the vapors placed a knife, for Hickory owed payment on his firstborn's life. tiny pale arms reached out as though to cuddle, and George Hickory paid his bloodline's betrayal. Thank you, everyone.